The outlet for a gas stove receptacle is classified as a countertop receptacle, defined as receptacles installed on the underside of a countertop above the top of the backsplash. It is permissible to use a duplex, non-tamper resistant 15-amp receptacle on a 15-amp branch circuit for a gas stove receptacle, provided that the total load does not exceed 12 amps. Regarding the conversion of 8-3 aluminum service entrance cable from an electric stove top line to 120 volts outlet, it is permissible to do so, but with specific precautions. Firstly, use only Underwriters Laboratories listed wire connectors, often called wire caps, that are specifically designed for copper to aluminum connections. These connectors are typically marked with CO/ALR or similar, indicating their suitability for this purpose. Secondly, use 2 wire connectors for each connection. This provides a more secure and reliable connection compared to using a single connector. Thirdly, twist the wires together securely before installing the wire connectors. This helps to ensure good electrical contact between the copper and aluminum wires. Fourthly, tighten the wire connectors thoroughly using a torque wrench or pliers. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for the appropriate torque setting. Over-tightening can damage the wires, while under-tightening can result in a loose connection. Fifthly, label the connection clearly as copper/aluminum wire connection. This will help prevent future confusion and ensure that anyone working on the electrical system is aware of the connection type. If the existing breaker for the electric stovetop is rated for more than 15 amps, it must be replaced with a 15-amp breaker. This is to protect the 15-amp receptacle and the associated wiring from overload. In most jurisdictions, installing an electrical outlet for a gas stove requires a permit. Check with the local building department for specific requirements in your area. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for electrical installations. It's crucial to adhere to the latest edition of the NEC, which is 2017 in this context, and any local amendments or regulations that may apply. Before commencing any electrical work, always disconnect the power supply to the circuit you will be working on. Verify that the circuit is de-energized using a voltage tester before touching any wires. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and improper installations can create a fire hazard. When selecting wire connectors for aluminum to copper connections, ensure that they are properly sized for the wire gauge. Using the wrong size connector can result in a loose connection and overheating. Carefully inspect the aluminum wire for any signs of corrosion. If corrosion is present, clean the wire with a wire brush and apply an antioxidant compound specifically designed for aluminum connections before making the connection. When tightening wire connectors, avoid stripping the wires. Stripped wires can create a weak connection and increase the risk of overheating. It is also important to properly ground the receptacle. The grounding wire should be connected to the grounding terminal on the receptacle and to a grounding point in the electrical panel. This helps to protect against electrical shock. When running new wiring for the receptacle, follow the NEC guidelines for wire size, conduit type, and support. Ensure that the wiring is properly protected from physical damage. After completing the installation, test the receptacle to ensure that it is working properly. Use a receptacle tester to check for proper wiring and grounding. The NEC specifies requirements for spacing of countertop receptacles in kitchens. These requirements are designed to ensure that all countertop areas are readily accessible to receptacles. Consider the placement of the receptacle in relation to other kitchen appliances and fixtures. Ensure that the receptacle is not located in a hazardous location, such as near a sink or water source. If the receptacle is located in a damp or wet location, use a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protected receptacle. GFCI receptacles are designed to protect against electrical shock by detecting ground faults and interrupting the circuit. When replacing an existing receptacle, use a receptacle of the same type and rating. If you are upgrading to a higher amperage receptacle, ensure that the wiring is also upgraded to handle the increased current. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing electrical devices. Incorrect installation can void the warranty and create a safety hazard. Regularly inspect electrical outlets and wiring for signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn components immediately. Avoid overloading electrical circuits. Overloading can cause the wires to overheat and potentially start a fire. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, consult with a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is always best to err on the side of caution. The NEC also covers requirements for arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs. SIs are designed to protect against electrical fires by detecting arc faults and interrupting the circuit. Consider installing SIs in your kitchen to provide additional fire protection. When working with aluminum wiring, it is important to be aware of the potential for galvanic corrosion. Galvanic corrosion can occur when dissimilar metals are in contact in the presence of an electrolyte, such as moisture. Use only approved materials and methods for connecting copper to aluminum to minimize the risk of corrosion. If you are installing the receptacle in a location where it may be exposed to physical damage, consider using a recessed receptacle or a receptacle with a protective cover. When running wiring through walls or ceilings, use appropriate wiring methods such as non-metallic sheathed cable or conduit. Ensure that the wiring is properly secured and supported. Avoid running wiring through areas where it may be subject to physical damage or moisture. If you are installing the receptacle in an island or peninsula countertop, there are specific requirements for receptacle placement. Consult the NEC for these requirements. Always keep electrical outlets and wiring clean and free from debris. Dust and dirt can accumulate and create a fire hazard. When cleaning electrical outlets, disconnect the power supply and use a dry cloth. Avoid using water or other liquids. If you are planning a major kitchen renovation, it is a good idea to have a qualified electrician inspect your electrical system to ensure that it is up to code and can handle the increased electrical load. Consider the future needs of your kitchen when planning your electrical system. Install enough receptacles to accommodate all of your appliances and electronic devices. When choosing electrical devices, look for products that are energy efficient. Energy-efficient appliances and devices can help you save money on your energy bills. Be aware of the potential hazards of electricity and take precautions to protect yourself and your family. Electricity is a powerful force and should be treated with respect. Remember to energize the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician. When using wire connectors, ensure that they are properly matched to the wire type and size. Using the wrong connectors can result in a loose connection and a potential fire hazard. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing wire connectors. Over-tightening or under-tightening can damage the wires and compromise the connection. When working with aluminum wiring, use only connectors that are specifically designed for aluminum to copper connections. These connectors are typically marked with CO/ALR or similar. Aluminum wiring requires special handling due to its tendency to oxidize and corrode. Use an antioxidant compound specifically designed for aluminum connections to help prevent corrosion. When making connections with aluminum wiring, be sure to clean the wires thoroughly to remove any oxidation or corrosion. Use a wire brush or other abrasive tool to clean the wires. After cleaning the wires, apply an antioxidant compound and immediately make the connection. When tightening wire connectors on aluminum wiring, use a torque wrench to ensure that the connectors are tightened to the proper torque. Over-tightening or under-tightening can damage the wires and compromise the connection. Regularly inspect aluminum wiring connections for signs of corrosion or loosening. If you find any problems, repair or replace the connections immediately. When replacing aluminum wiring, consider replacing it with copper wiring. Copper wiring is more durable and less prone to corrosion. If you are not comfortable working with aluminum wiring, hire a qualified electrician who is experienced in working with this type of wiring. The NEC provides detailed requirements for working with aluminum wiring. Be sure to consult the NEC before working with aluminum wiring. Always follow the NEC requirements when working with aluminum wiring. Failure to follow the NEC requirements can result in a dangerous electrical installation. When installing electrical outlets, be sure to locate them in convenient locations that are easily accessible. Avoid locating outlets behind furniture or appliances. Consider the placement of outlets in relation to countertops and other work surfaces. Be sure to install enough outlets to accommodate all of your appliances and electronic devices. When choosing electrical outlets, look for products that are durable and reliable. Choose outlets that are made from high-quality materials and that are designed to withstand frequent use. When installing electrical outlets, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Improper installation can void the warranty and create a safety hazard. After installing electrical outlets, test them to make sure that they are working properly. Use a receptacle tester to check for proper wiring and grounding. Regularly inspect electrical outlets for signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn outlets immediately. When cleaning electrical outlets, disconnect the power supply and use a dry cloth. Avoid using water or other liquids. Be careful not to damage the outlets when cleaning them. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, consult with a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is always best to err on the side of caution.